Hi, this is Larry Watlington of Keep Cyber Simple. Okay, this is just going to be a short tutorial, just a short overview of cybersecurity. And because I get a lot of questions from a lot of people, okay, who want to get into the career field, but they know nothing about it. And so they ask, well, what is this? And what do I need to do? Well, this is what it's going to cover. So with a definition of cybersecurity, and also we're going to look at some of the core concepts you need from a technology perspective, look at some career opportunities and things of that nature, just to get you just a primer, get your feet wet and what the career field is about. Okay, let's get into this course. All right, so when we think about cybersecurity, I always have to start out with this, something to always consider, not just for cybersecurity, but in life, something to consider. People who know why always tell people who know how what to do. And I apply this to every aspect of my life. So as you look at your career, where you want to go, whether it's in cyber or whatever it may be, learn the why. Learn the why. You may say, what does that really mean? Okay, let me give you an example. You see this? This is NFL football players. I think we picked one off every team, about 32 NFL football players. And these individuals, they definitely know how to play football. They know it down to a T. Look at the Tom Brady's, they know how. However, look at these gentlemen. These are NFL owners. They know why. And as long as these individuals know why, they will always tell these individuals what to do. They can strike as much as they want. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, these gentlemen are always making a lot more money at it because they know the why. And most of these guys, believe it or not, they're not fans because this is the business for them. This is the why. This is the how. So keep this in mind as you go into your career of cybersecurity. Many times we teach you a lot of hows, how to set up routers, how to run scans, how to do vulnerability assessments, but we miss telling you the why it's important. So some of the things we're going to talk about here gets into the why of it all. Okay, so when we think about cybersecurity, these are some of the topics that we're going to talk about today. What it is, what is cybersecurity? Going to get into risk management, some of the cybersecurity concepts, just basic concepts, career opportunities, and some of the technologies associated with this path. All right, so what is cybersecurity? I know we've all heard the term. You see the commercials, and everybody wants to jump on the bandwagon because they think they're going to make $1 million. All right, but let's talk about it. Now, first, let me give you some definitions. This is interesting, okay? This is from the Oxford Language Dictionary. Cybersecurity, the state of being protected against the criminal or unauthorized use of electronic data or the measures taken to achieve this. All right, let's look at definition from CISA, which is a Information Systems Association for Cybersecurity. Cybersecurity is the art of protecting networks, devices, and data from unauthorized access or criminal use, and the practice of ensuring confidentiality, integrity, and availability of information. Whew, that's a mouthful. Let's look at one more. This is from Cisco. Cisco's definition. Cisco is if you're not familiar with Cisco, they make a lot of our network devices, switches, routers, things like that. Cybersecurity is the practice of protecting systems, networks, and programs from digital attacks. Okay? Now, what do I say about that? I disagree with all of them. They have some good things there. Yes, these are the hows. They tell you a lot of the hows. But from my perspective, and this is my personal perspective from working in the industry for well over 30 plus years, cybersecurity is risk management. That's it. Now, do we do some of these things? Yes, we do. But the why we do it is we're here to reduce risk. Reduce risk. We're not here to protect networks. That's physical security, network security. We're here to reduce risk to information. So when we talk about risk, let's peel risk back a little bit. Guys, this is so important. Here's why I say that, because at some point in your career, you're going to try to get a certification, and we're going to talk certs a little bit later. All these certifications, they are really boiled down to this risk and how you apply that. So what is risk? Risk is the likelihood of a threat agent taking advantage of a vulnerability and the corresponding business impacts. If you don't remember another sentence, you should always remember this, because you apply risk in every aspect of your life. That's why you have auto insurance. Why? Because what is the likelihood of a threat, someone else driving crazy, taking advantage of a vulnerability, and the corresponding impacts. Vulnerabilities, there's all types of vulnerabilities out there. You got your car parked in a parking lot, on the side of the street. It's vulnerable to what? Yes, a drunk driver coming and losing control, who is a threat. and then the impact. So when we think about risk, again, a vulnerability encounters a threat and impact. Don't forget that. Now, within the realm of cybersecurity, within the realm, what we look at, we monitor and assess risk to information systems based on basically three factors: confidentiality, integrity, and availability. I'm going to get a little deeper in these three a little bit later on, but really that's what we do. This is the core of pretty much everything that we do within the realm of cybersecurity. We're going to, like I say, get a little deeper in that. But now, when we think about cybersecurity, it's about languages. To me, everything in life is a language. I'm a musician. I love to play music, write and record music. Music is a language. I love mathematics. Math is a language. It has a syntax. It's a contextual language. Likewise, whatever you do in life, learn to speak the language. If you, let me give you an example. Let's go back to football. Let's say I went over to my buddy's house on Super Bowl day, and we sit down, and I'm just excited. He's excited, get ready to watch the game. And I start talking about, you know what? I think LeBron James is going to score 38 points, and you have 6 slam dunks and 2 block shots in this Super Bowl. My friend's going to look at me like, dude, what are you talking about? Why? I'm speaking the wrong language. And instantly, I've lost credibility. So what we want to learn to do is speak the language of cybersecurity, right? And what is that language? Just like we talked about back there. Confidentiality, integrity, and availability. Confidentiality, we want to be sure that our information is not disclosed to unauthorized people. We want to keep secrets. Integrity, we want to be sure that information doesn't change. For instance, your bank account. You're very concerned about integrity to your bank account. Now, if you deposit $250, you want to open up your account the next day and see that hasn't changed. That $200 that you deposited still should be there. Otherwise, you have problems. You want to be sure that it's confidential, that the only people who can see it is the people who are authorized to see it. And availability. You want to be able to get to your $250 when you need to get to your $250. So all of these things are important. So that's why that CIA triad is so important. Now, another thing that's very important is access. Everything's about access, guys. Access. How do you get access? And when we think about access, we got basically about 5 things we look at: identification, authentication, authorization, access control, auditing. We're going to get a little deeper in this one a little later on as we go through, because we're going to talk about this from your home perspective, how you do this in your home every day. These are not concepts that are just like, wow, some genius pulled this out of the sky. And as we talked about cybersecurity, this is basic security. Nothing has changed. So we're going to talk about that a little bit more. Now, talking about languages, yes, that's the language of cybersecurity. Wow, whoop-de-doo. Who cares? Unless you're another cybersecurity guy, right? So to be really proficient in this career path, you have to learn how to translate. You have to be a translator. What do you mean by that? I have to be able to translate cybersecurity jargon into the language of business. Like I say, now when you look at an organization and within cybersecurity, yes, our 3-legged stool, our 3 things that we're concerned about is confidentiality, integrity, and availability. I don't know why I like threes. Things come in threes. However, if I'm talking to a program manager, or I'm talking to our CIO, I'm talking to one of our leads, integrated product team leads, these 3 words don't mean a lot to them. So what do we have to be able to do? Translate in a language that they understand. Program managers, your bosses, they are working day to day in these 3 words: cost, schedule, performance. Okay? If I come into their office talking cybersecurity geek speak about, we're going to apply security controls so we can lock down the domain controllers and be sure that we don't have any attacks from, unauthorized individuals based on 8 controls, AC7, AC17, and CM6. Whoa, okay, they could care less. However, what I want to be able to do is walk into their office and say, based on some security mitigations we put in place, we can reduce costs. We can ensure that the product that we're building is going to be on schedule, and our security is not going to adversely impact the performance of your operations. Now I have that individual's ear because I'm speaking his language: cost, schedule, performance. And now let's say the engineers who's going to go build these systems and maintain them. Here again, they've got their own language: question, hypothesis, results. Okay, I have a problem. I'm going to come up with a set of hypotheses and solutions, and now I'm going to implement that to get results. Again, they don't speak, they don't live in this world. This is probably one of the first mistakes most people in cybersecurity or IT networking we do. We don't know how to translate languages. What do we have to be able to do? Translate risk. We just talked about risk, because in each of these, there's risk. A risk to cost, risk to schedule, risk to performance. Now, I have to be able to translate the operational needs, the risk associated with operational needs, to risk that can be mitigated with security controls. That's what it's about, guys. That's what it's about. Also, now, when we talk about security overall, let's just forget the word cyber for a minute. Okay, throw away everything you've ever thought you knew about cyber. Throw that away. Let's just talk about security. What is it, all right? Security, it's very simple. Controlling access to an object that has value. That's it. That's it. Look at these two cavemen. They found a stick, and they're fighting over this stick. Why? That stick has value. To one of them, it's my trowel. To the other one, no, it's my hammer. So they both saw this stick, and they applied value to that. And we're going to talk about value stream a little bit later. But because when things have value, you want to protect it. Value stream. And I'll prove that to you. Okay, let's say you go to online or go to Best Buy, or you go to Newegg and you buy a hard drive. I'll make it simple. A thumb drive. You know, you got a 1 terabyte thumb drive that you paid $32 for, which you probably overpaid because you could have found that thumb drive probably much cheaper. However, you got this thumb drive for $32. 1 terabyte. You walk out of the store with that thumb drive. What's the value? Not the price. What's the value of that thumb drive? $32. If you could sell it right there on the spot with somebody outside to do it for $32, you'd be like, okay, I got my money back. All right, now you take this thumb drive home, you plug it into your computer, and you download all of your tax information, all of your personal information with your social security number, bank accounts. You load all that onto that thumb drive. Now, what is the value of that? I guarantee it's a lot more than $32. Now it's almost become priceless. So now we're protecting something of value that has an intrinsic value that you really can't put a dollar value on. But that's all security is: controlling access. Let's look at this from an example perspective. This is what you do in your home every day. Okay, this has nothing to do with cybersecurity, has nothing to do with electronics, has nothing to do with your computer at home. These are just valuables, things that you have placed value on in your home. It could be your guns, it could be money, it could be jewelry, whatever it may be. You know, it could be your Star Wars collection with Oda and Luke Skywalker. I know. All right, so you have something of value, right? Let's take a look at this. So you've got something of value that you've put in a safe. And why do you put it in a safe? Because you want to control access. You're trying to control access to that thing of value. Now, this is what we call, kind of really security in depth. You hear this term in the techie world all the time. Well, security in depth and these things. You do it in your home. You have layered security in your home. Why? Because that safe is probably, let's say, bolted to a stud in the wall of your closet. Now, your closet, it has restricted access, meaning that, who has a combination to the safe? Probably just you and your significant other, if you still have one. Now, closet, who could possibly have access to your closet? Well, you may have given your kids access to your closet. Hey, Johnny, Susan, go into my closet and look on the top shelf and bring me this. So you've given them, discretionarily, you've given them restricted access to your closet. But the safe is in there, but they do not have, you're controlling access to that safe because they don't have the combination. Well, where is that closet located? That closet is in a bedroom. It's in your bedroom. This is your walk-in closet. Now, who has access to your bedroom? Probably even more people. Even though it's limited access, you've opened that aperture up a little bit wider to where now probably everyone in your home can go into your bedroom, and it's okay. Now, if I showed up at your house, hey, I want to go into your bedroom, that's creepy, right? Yes, that's creepy. So you limit access. Now that bedroom is part of your house, and the rest of the house, which is like the living area and things like that, again, you have limited access. You limit access, but probably not with the same scrutiny as your bedroom. Here again, if I came to your house, you would probably invite me in and let me sit in the living room. Okay? So you have controlling who's authorized or the access to your house. And then at the front door, pretty much anyone can walk up to your front door. So you have kind of open access. However, you scrutinize and control who goes in that front door. They may, they hit the doorbell, hit the ring. Okay, there's the front door. Yes, we're here. We want to give you a new price on your roof. Okay, got it. Thanks. Are you gonna let them in? Maybe, maybe not. However, okay, somebody that you know well, you can let them come into the living room. However, you're going to control their access. If they say, well, can I use your bathroom? Sure, use the hall one. Can I use the master bathroom in the bedroom? No. Again, that's creepy. So you don't let them go there. Then especially, well, can I just kind of look in your closet? That's even creepier, especially if you're a guy. Now, girls, women, this, yeah. Oh, yeah, let me show you my boots and all that. Guys, no, man, you ain't got my closet. That's wrong. But then they see the safe. Well, can I open up? No. You see, you have provided access control to something valuable in your home. We do the exact same thing when we control access to information on the network. Somewhere on your network, where you work or at home, you have files. You have critical data that's important. You now you want to control that access, whether it's at the servers where it's sitting on, if it's on the switches that it gets accesses, and all the way out to the user. So if I'm an authorized user on the network, now this is where we set up access controls using firewalls to get you through the first layer of switches, as well as we set up virtual LANs and other techie stuff to get you through this switch. You get to the server, and you've got to get a user account, a password, a username, password, or use some type of authentication to log into that server, and then you're authorized to get to that critical data. So you see the exact same thing you do in your home. This is how we manage it, because we want to keep intruders out at every stop. Access control. You see, it's all about access control. You don't have to, I don't think, really be a brain surgeon to understand access control, because you apply those concepts in your life every day. Now, we talk about risk. We talk about those things. So what is cybersecurity's role in managing risk? Okay, I use this analogy. I love analogies. Okay. To me, it's like making shaved ice. Well, kind of like making shaved ice. He's like, what you talking about? All right. We have this lad who loves shaved ice. He is the customer. He is the end user. Now I'm looking at this from a business perspective. So if you're doing if you're as a cybersecurity analyst or in a business, this is what you're supporting, is getting a product out the door. Unless you are a company that works with a company that actually creates and builds cybersecurity products, we cybersecurity don't produce anything at the end, but we support the production of some product. Okay, so to make shaved ice, what do you need? Really, what's the main ingredient in shaved ice? If you said water, you're correct. So we gotta get water. So we gotta get water, drinking water from the city, from somewhere, a well somewhere, and that's where our IT guys. Now another part of this is understanding the difference between IT and cybersecurity. Most colleges, universities you go to, we dump that all into the same bowl and shake it up and say, here you go, you're a cyber IT guy. Oh man, that's bad, because even though we share competencies, they are not the same. Okay, let me understand what I'm talking about. So I kind of equate our our IT guys, network guys, to a plumber, because they provide connectivity. They provide a connectivity, like a plumber allows water to get to this business so they can make ice. Now, what is the cybersecurity's role? Well, I liken us to the city water inspector. We have similar skills, different focus. Similar skills, different focus. Here's what I mean. Like I said, this plumber, he is great at getting pipes, getting that water into the facility. However, you ask an average plumber, what is the pH balance, or what's the rust content of that water? And you're going to get probably the deer in the headlight look. I don't know. I don't care. I got your water's here. I got the right water pressure. Have a nice day. That's what he's going to tell you. Now, you come and ask that cybersecurity individual, like the city water inspector, that individual understands some of the same competencies as a plumber. However, he don't use them day to day. but he is there to tell you the quality of the water in the pipe. You know, is it the water too soft, too hard? Again, rust content, pH balance, all of those things. That's what we do in cyber. We are concerned about the quality, the CIA, the confidentiality, the integrity, and the availability of the information that is running through those pipes. That's what we do. Okay, so hopefully you kind of see the difference between the city water inspector and the plumber, the same analogous to cybersecurity and our IT counterparts. All right, so we got water coming in. They got the help here, city water inspectors at cyber. We're looking at, yes, the quality of that water is good. And then we take it into some type of business process where you have an input, a process, and an output. That's what we call value. That's where we add value, the value stream, okay? That's our information system that adds value. So here we're taking water and we're adding some type of syrup, sugary syrup to that water, adding value, and boom, there we go. And we sell it to that customer. So if I took an 8-ounce glass of water and a cup of water, well, you think this young kid would pay, $2.50 for it? No. If I add value to it by adding some sugary syrup that looks pink and purple and green and all those beautiful colors, put it in a nice little cup, hand it to him, and he will gladly give me $2.50 for the value. This is what we do. We support the value stream of that business, of how you add value. So because now, let's say if that water is tainted, right? Now we got problems. If the water isn't available, we have problems. If the water have changed, meaning it's sat somewhere and it's changed, the integrity of the water is bad. So that's how we add value. And along the way, there are risks associated with that. And what we are doing is mitigating and reducing the risk to these components to support the value of the business, the stream. Confidentiality, integrity, availability, cost, schedule, performance. Okay, so let's switch gears a little bit. Now we are going to look at some of the career opportunities in this thing we call cyber. First, you have to kind of understand what are some of the core competencies you're going to need to be successful. You're going to have to understand some basic networking, switches, routers, firewalls. We'll talk about those a little bit more another slide. Operating systems, whether it's Windows, Linux, Mac, whatever that may be, you have to really kind of understand operating systems. Cloud, a big thing now is cloud because we have so many things moving to the cloud. So did you understand software as a service? You're going to hear these terms, platform as a service, infrastructure as a service, and the course that we're going to get into will go through more of these things in much greater detail. Cryptography, cryptology, encryption and decryption, whether it's symmetric, asymmetric, huge area to be aware of because this is how we actually maintain confidentiality and integrity of our information is through encryption. Also need to have some knowledge / background in what we call scripting. Things like PowerShell, so that you can use tools. A lot of our cybersecurity tools that we use, you have to be able to write a script that so you can automate processes, so that that script will run and it will automate the process over and over, so you don't have to manually keep trying to do those processes. Understanding databases, whether it's SQL, Access, PostScript, some of those things. Now, we are not database experts by no means. However, it is very beneficial to have a fundamental knowledge of how databases work because, here again, many times we have to download products, bring them into some type of data management system, a database, so that we know how to control it, especially also with the non-technical side of what we do. We have to do things like asset management. All those things are maintained in databases many times. Some very basic programming knowledge. And I say this is getting more and more prevalent than it was when I first came into the environment because everything is software. So now you're going to you're trying to figure out how do I protect, how do I reduce the risk associated with, coding the things like Java, JavaScript, Python, all of these things that are running within the environment now because everything is going to software as a service. So these are just some basic things, especially if you go to college, if you're looking at getting your degree, you will touch these areas somewhere within your degree program. Career paths. I know this is always a big one. So what do you do? How do we get started? Now, when we think about it from an information systems perspective, there's a lot of different competencies. Everything from customer support. We've got computer analysts, software application analysts, web development, computer programming. So within the realm of supporting an information system, there's a lot of these things. Now within these, we've got some cybersecurity competencies. Now I will say this is not an exhaustive list. Like I said, I just kind of put this together as an example. You have some entry level type positions like your auditing, IT auditing, intrusion detection, and just a cybersecurity specialist who do, again, day-to-day asset management, things of that nature. Some of the mid-level tasks we will do as you're looking at career-wise, again, cybersecurity analysts, and these are individuals where you may work in a security operations center or a SOC. You may hear that term, where you may be a level, a tier one specialist, and that's who's just looking at threats, vulnerabilities, and then you move that up to a tier two, more mid-level. Also, our pen testers, vulnerability testers, penetration testers, meaning, okay, how can we try to attack our own network to be sure that we're doing things, viable. You hear this term that I know it's almost sounds oxymoronic, a certified ethical hacker. What is an ethical hacker? Well, if you're hacking, an ethical hacker who kind of falls in this realm also are people who can try to hack your system and to show you the vulnerabilities, not from a nefarious perspective, but a way to help you, again, reduce the attack surface of your network. And then some of the advanced level careers, like we got cybersecurity engineers, cybersecurity architects, cybersecurity managers. So you see, there's a career progression. It isn't always clean and pristine like this, but as you're looking at jobs and interviewing, kind of give you an idea of where you're shooting for. Now, I know this is always one where everybody's ears perk, okay, because you always hear about there's all this money to be made. It is. There's money to be made in this career field. However, you got to have there's some prerequisites before you get there. So, and all this table is showing you, like I say, based on some of these positions, like entry-level positions, these are just median salaries, okay? So don't go out there and saying, oh, I saw a job where that they were paying $170,000. That's true. But there's also some places you go, they may only be starting you at $65,000. So it's kind of a median ballpark. Education-wise, a lot of places are looking for either associate's degree, bachelor's degrees. Some of the skill sets you're going to need in these positions, as you can say, like intrusion detection, you have to understand how to do incident response, how to operate with your SIMs, your security information and event management systems, some background in operating systems. I'm not going to read through all these, but it gives you an idea of what it takes to get to the prerequisite skills. Now, this is a big column right here. Big column that we call certifications. In this business, yes, certifications is a business. So in any of these areas to get your foot in the door, you're going to need some type of certification typically, especially if you're going to work for the Department of Defense or federal government. There's a requirement, for certifications. We're going to laundry list these certifications in another slide. So again, this is at the mid-level, kind of give you just an idea of the education level and some of the certifications that would be helpful. Not saying, now, please don't think that you have to get every one of these certifications. No. This is just kind of a menu or palette of different certifications that you can get. As a matter of fact, be very careful when we talk certifications. Advanced levels, like I say, now we get up into the higher dollar ranges, and like I say, there are jobs out there where this dollar range goes way above that. Okay, so like I say, again, a median. But they're looking for the bachelor's, they're looking for master's degrees, and they're looking for what we call level 3 certifications, your CISSPs and your CISM, things of that nature. So that just gives you an idea of skill sets, education, salary ranges, and what type of certifications you may need. You can start looking into for these different areas. Now, like I say, talking about certifications, and this is by no means, again, an exhaustive list of certs. There are tons. A plethora, I love the word plethora, of certifications. But I will tell you, entry level, where most people start in cybersecurity is here with the CompTIA Security Plus. That is really a good entry level certification to get your foot into the door. Now, when you start moving into the management level, this is when you get into your certified information system security professionals or your certified information system manager. These are much harder certifications, very difficult certification unless you have some type of experience in the career field. But as you see, there are certifications that are targeted to different areas. Now, when we think certs, okay, I know everyone, at first you get very excited. Oh man, I want these certs. These things have to be maintained. First, there's a cost associated with getting these, anywhere from probably $500 to $1,200 to sit and take the test. Now, once you pass the certification, you still have to maintain the certification with CEUs, okay, with certification education units, meaning that you have to have so many CEUs per year or over a 2 or 3 year period to maintain the cert. Not only do you need the CEUs, you're also going to pay every 3 years for that cert to be reaccredited. So having certifications can become an expensive venture. I know it looks cool to have all these initials behind your name, right? Larry Watlington, CEH, CISSP, Security Plus, but that comes at a cost, and you have to maintain those. So think carefully before you start going down the path of trying to just stack certifications on top of certifications. Not always the best thing. Last thing I want to talk about with respect to, from a career perspective, is policies. Now, within cybersecurity, I know we see the commercials and it looks so techy and cool that you see these guys sitting here with the big screens around them and, racks of equipment. But I tell you, for most of you guys, you probably won't see that. Not on a day-to-day basis. Does it exist? Yes, of course. We have, these SOCs of the security operations centers, network operations centers, and these things are high-tech. Yes, they are. However, everyone will not work in those type facilities. Day-to-day, I'm an information system security manager, ISM, which is a management position. Even as an analyst, you are doing a lot of administrative tasks, a lot of paperwork. So understanding policies is a premium. And to give you an idea of when you think policies, think about it from three aspects within the business that you do. Now, I do a lot of work with the federal government, with the Department of Defense. So this example is based on those types of policies. You may be looking to get a job within the financial industry or within other industries, but they all have a set of policies and regulations that we have to follow. At the federal level, if you're working with the federal government, you're going to see a lot of what we call NIST, National Institute of Standards and Technology, special publications, okay? And these deal with many things in security. One that we always spend a lot of time with is the 853 sets of policies that governs security controls. Now, next thing you'll look at, departmental. What type of departmental or organizational policies do you have? Because those policies typically will link back to federal policies. And then what types of local policies, standard operating procedures, desktop procedures, local policies that you have within your organization. Learn these quickly. This will teach you more of the why. And then that makes the how make a lot more sense. Jump into those policies early. Okay? All right. We're going to shift gears a little bit and talk about some of the technology. When we think technology, yes, having a basic understanding of computer design is very important. From the hardware level, the operating system, applications, and the user. Very important, because many things that we do in cybersecurity, there's a lot of techie stuff, technical controls we do here. But really, the administrative controls. Is this individual access, we talk access, to get to this information system? How do we control access? How do we control the accounts? What type of access? Are they a general user? Are they a priv user? So you see there's a lot of administrative security tasks that go in before we get to the techie stuff. Now, as we dig into some of these areas within information systems, one thing that we should be aware of is, where do the information reside? Okay? Not a trick question, but it's a multi-layer question, because information resides always in an information system in some type of memory. Yeah, whether it's persistent, volatile memory, or if it's non-volatile memory. But that's where the information resides, whether it's on a computer itself, on a hard drive, it could be on a network storage drive. So understanding those computer basics is, because that's what we're protecting, guys, is that information, access to the information. So if you don't know where the information is stored, it's hard to protect what you can't see and what you don't know. So that's why understanding the different types of random access memory, or RAM, or SSDs, and how people can access those, very important, very important. Now, also, understanding the topology or the network. Why is this important? Because in today's environment, most of us don't work on standalone computers anymore. These computers are networked together so that we can share information. That's really the whole purpose. We want to protect it, yes, but at the end of the day, it's about sharing that information with other people in the organization, and understanding Having an understanding of network devices like routers and switches and firewalls is something that, yes, you've got to understand those competencies. Not only understand the individual devices, but also understanding architecture, understanding how basic architecture works, from how user devices are connected to switches at, at the various layers, and then how that's aggregated up, how now you have routing, core routing. I know this is probably over you guys' head right now if you just get into this, but this is the things you're going to be learning, especially if you're taking a college course and you want to walk away having an understanding of how does this computer talk to, let's say, that computer. They're on two different local area networks. They have to come through a series of switches, through a router, core switch type of device. And here we got firewalls, we got firewall rules, and now that's how that stack works. And if I need to get to the internet, I really want it. A lot of security goes here because this is where a lot of vulnerabilities lie. So now I've got a firewall appliance that blocks things coming in and out of the internet, but it also manages who can talk to who on your network. So understanding basic architecture, again, very, very important. So what we've done, right? We have talked about a lot of things today. We have talked about what cybersecurity is. We've talked about risk management, some of the cybersecurity core concepts of risk, CIA and access control. We've looked at some of the career opportunities, and we talked technologies. Guys, I hope this helped you out as you endeavor in your career. Also, as you get into the courses that we have, it will provide the next layer of information on for these different things that we talked about. Again, nothing new under the sun, and keep cyber simple.